Way back at the beginning of things, God made the world. He made the water, and he made the land, and he made all the things that would live in the water and on the land. Things that would swim and walk, crawl and hop, leap and fly. And of course, God made the first human beings. But it seems that with time, people forgot how everything was connected at the beginning and how God had started it all. God did not seem quite so important. And once that happened, people began to grow selfish and mean to one another, and they no longer lived in peace. After a time, God looked at the world and said, "This is not what I intended. What have they done to this beautiful earth I made? I cannot let this go on much longer. I may have to stop it and start it all over again." But while he was looking around, God found one good man who had not forgotten him. His name was Noah. He was the sort of person who would help you out without expecting any thanks. Noah was a farmer, and he took care of the land. Its permanence made the fashions and fads of the day seem unimportant to him. The long-lasting things mattered more. Most of all, God. Noah lived with his wife, their 3 sons, and the wives of the 3 sons. And God saw all this and liked Noah. One day, to Noah's shock, God spoke to him right out loud. Now, I imagine this happening at the end of a long day working out in the fields. Noah's sitting in his favorite rocking chair out on the farmhouse porch, appreciating the beauty of the moon and stars high above, and sipping a cool drink. And all of a sudden, God says, "Noah." Noah thinks maybe one of his sons is calling him from inside the house. "Shem, is that you?" he says. "Noah, it's the Lord God talking to you." And Noah stops rocking. He sets down his drink, then sits very still and asks, "Lord, did you just speak to me?" "Yes, Noah. Don't be surprised. I speak to a lot of people quite frequently, only not many of them listen, and not many of them believe. But you do, Noah. I want you to do a job for me. Whatever you want done, Lord, I'll try to do it. I want you to build a huge boat. We'll call it the Ark. An ark is something that holds something else inside it. And this ark is going to hold a whole lot of something else's inside." "Well, of course, Lord, if that's what you want. But I don't know anything about boats, much less about building one. Besides, as you know, I live far from any oceans or lakes." "Right now you do, Noah. But that's going to change. As for building the ark, I'll tell you how to do it, but you and your family had better get started first thing in the morning. There's not much time left." "Lord, if you don't mind my asking, what's going to happen?" "I don't like the way things are going down there on Earth, so I'm going to start all over again. I am going to send a mighty rain to cover the whole place, and only those of you who are on board the boat will survive. So you'd better start building." "Yes, sir, Lord. Right away." And Noah gets up from his chair, goes into the house, and calls together his family. "A thing has happened, and you've got to hear about it." And he tells them. Well, the very next day, Noah's family began to build the boat, according to God's instructions. Noah had help mostly from his 3 sons, who, by the way, had wonderful names: Shem, Japheth, and my favorite, Ham. Shem, Ham, and Japheth worked right alongside Noah. Pretty soon, the neighbors started coming by, leaning on the fence and asking, "What are you building?" "An ark," said Noah. "God told us to." "You still believe in God?" The neighbors laughed. "Well then, you build this, what did you call it, ark. But we're miles from the sea, so don't expect a lot of voyages." "I don't expect a lot of voyages. Just one." And the neighbors went away laughing, because that's the way people were in those days. And I'm afraid some of them still are. At last the ark was ready. Noah said, "What do we do now, Lord?" "Fill the ark with a lot of hay and a great deal of food from your farm, because the rain is going to start soon, and it's to keep on for 40 days and 40 nights. You'll need to feed your family and the other passengers." "Who's that, Lord?" "I want my animals to survive, so there will be 2 of every kind of animal in there with you, a male and a female. 2 elephants, 2 tortoises, 2 flies, 2 tigers." "Too much," said Noah. "How are we going to take care of all of them? There are only 8 of us in the family. How will we keep the animals from eating each other, or us?" "I will see to that part, Noah. Just gather the food and wait." For more titles from Jim Weiss and Well-Trained Mind Press, please visit us at jimweiss.com or welltrainedmind.com. Thank you for listening.